And we're live. Good morning. I am coming in from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is my hotel room, and I am heading out. I was here for, less than 24 hours. And I came in, I had a dinner, and it has been a phenomenal, phenomenal trip. So I had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It is 4 a.m. here in Pacific Standard Time. Today is a big day, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So we're in the middle of Mental Health Awareness Week, and it's so important because so many of us, I would argue every single one of us at some point in our life has struggled with some level of poor mental health. And every single day we need to be doing things to take care of our mental health, to take care of what's going on in our mind. It's like taking care of our bodies. Sometimes you hear people and they say, man, I need to eat something healthy. I need roughage. I need a salad. I need to take a walk. And they're doing something for their body. It is absolutely no different than us taking care of our mental health. It's the same as our physical health. And they say mind, body, and spirit. It's because we need to be taking care of all three of those. And so this week we've dedicated, because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, we've dedicated this week to talking about mental health awareness. So that's what we're going to talk about. So it's Thursday. And not only is it Thursday and the world does Throwback Thursday, first, yesterday we talked about words and how important words are. And one of the biggest takeaways that we had from that, and I hope that you are considering how you're using your words and how those impact you and how those change. I mean, those small little changes can make a big difference, right? Like, we don't suffer from whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? It's a gift. And when we think about a gift, we receive that a lot better than we do when we say that we're suffering. So it is a mental game that we're playing, right? It's all up here. And for so long for me, I said I suffered with addiction. And this was something that was really hard. It was really hard for me to deal with. It took me 10 years. 10 years. I tried every single day. I never bought enough alcohol. True statement. I never bought enough alcohol for more than one day because I always believed that it was going to be my last, because I didn't identify myself with that person. And today, my friends, I am 3 years sober. So you can change. Things in your life can change. And even after I got sober, I still said it was something that I suffered with. I didn't truly believe that this was a gift. And today, I look at my addiction as a gift. And I'll tell you why. I don't believe that my higher power had me go through this for nothing. Sure, I was strengthened along the way. I absolutely became the person that I am today because I scraped my knees for almost 2 decades. And I didn't love myself. And I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize that person. And I had to scrape my knees until I heard those 7 words 3 years ago today that changed my entire world. And those 7 words were, Jen, you need to learn to love yourself. And when I did, when I actually stood up and I said, I am going to learn how to love you. And I said that in the mirror. I made a commitment to myself. And it took time and it took work. But I learned to love and respect the person that was staring back at me. And I didn't know who she was before. I had absolutely zero idea. And that actually now is my trademarked program. And that's what I work my clients through, is how you reconnect with your mind, with yourself, how you put structure in your life to keep you protected from these outside forces. And then once we have that solid foundation, we really step into the confidence piece. but it starts with you. Everything that you need is inside of you. And you see, I didn't know that. And it took me having this addiction. It took me going through all of this to figure it out. When I was 16 years old, maybe I was 15, I think I was 15, my parents put me through modeling school. I think it was to help my posture and help my confidence in this. And, it took me another 20 plus years before I could get in front of the camera and be confident. And you know why? Because I didn't love myself. And that came through on the camera. Now I'm snapping selfies. I'm in front of the camera and I love it. And my addiction gifted me that because I don't know if I didn't have that, if I would have truly found self-love. I definitely found self-hate all throughout that process. But would I have just coasted by life and really taken myself for granted? I think so. I believe that I needed to have that addiction in order to learn to love myself. Those 7 words that changed the trajectory of my entire life. And quite frankly, it's the only reason that we're sitting here today. So not only did my addiction give me self-love, I now not only have sympathy for people that are struggling, and I don't just mean with addiction, I mean people that have poor mental health, because that's what addiction is. It's poor mental health. Nobody that's in a good state of mind that is healthy is like, I want to poison my body. No. You see, addiction is a disease, and we can fight this. So not only do I have sympathy for people that have poor mental health, but I have empathy. I connect on a much deeper level because I've been there. I understand. And I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. And I couldn't have had this level of understanding had I not gone through it. So I now can take my personality, which is big and bold and strong, and I can give that to others. I can help them through what they're going through. And maybe it's you just don't feel happy and you want that happiness. You know what? I've been there. I thought my problem was drinking. And so I tried to fix that in any number of ways. What I learned was my drinking wasn't the problem. My drinking was a symptom, and I was the problem. You see, there's a key difference. I kept trying to circumvent myself, just tackle the drinking, just stop drinking, and then stop drinking the next day. I would get maybe a couple days in and I would start drinking again because I wasn't dealing with the problem. I would have a temporary fix. And that temporary thing that I was doing was not drinking. And they call it white knuckling. I was like, oh, just don't drink, just don't drink, just don't drink. And probably the longest lengths of sobriety that I would have would be over Christmas because I would be at my parents' house and I wouldn't drink. One time I made it to 62 days in those 10 years. That happened once. I think other than that, yeah, it was probably those 5, 6, 7 days at my parents' house. That was it. So I not only learned self-love, I not only have empathy, but I have uncovered something in my personality that is so incredibly powerful, that is a superpower that I have tapped into, that I had no idea existed. And once I understood the beast, then I could really be useful with it. I write for a magazine called Recovery Today magazine, and I have an article, spoiler alert, I have an article coming out this month, and it's a free magazine, so it's recoverytodaymagazine.com. And my article, I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Dean O'Shaughnessy, and there's an interview in there as well as an article write-up, and I talk in the article about how addiction is a superpower. And you see, I'm all in or I'm not. there's not really any middle ground for me. I am one side or the other. And so when I put that all in into drinking, it's a disaster. When I put that drinking when I put that all in to doing something, to growing something, to building something, I'm all in. So my jobs always benefited because when I was committed at work, I was committed. And now I'm on my entrepreneurial journey and I am growing a coaching company. This is not stopping at me. You see, my goal is to touch more than 1 million lives. I want to change more than 1 million lives. And I can't do that by having one-on-one coaching. Absolutely not. I don't have that kind of time. So I will start to bring on coaches that will be working for me. I will be on massive stages. I will be on the TED Talks. I will be in front of corporations. I will be using my voice and my story, and I will be helping. And I am doing this with the energy that I discovered through my addiction and this nonprofit, and how many lives we're going to be able to touch through this nonprofit, and all of these other things that I have going on. You see, when I started to understand the benefit of my addiction, which was that if I am into something, I am all in. And on May 13th, 2018, I heard those 7 words and I said, okay, I'm going to point all of that energy that I was putting towards alcohol, and I'm going to point that towards myself, and I'm going to learn to love myself. And I became addicted to that. And the truth is, it was a scary and exciting and sometimes terrifying and sometimes elating journey. And I took it one day at a time. And it was baby steps. It was baby steps. It was baby steps. It was addressing things in my personality. It was uncovering things. It was looking at my feelings. It was looking at myself in the mirror. It was tears. It was happiness. It was just all of these things. And I just did it one day at a time. And then after about 7 or 8 months, I looked back and I said, holy moly. And I had transformed my entire life. And it didn't take 7 or 8 months for me to see a transformation starting to occur, but for me to see these massive steps. It took time, and I stayed with it. I stayed with it. I stayed with it because that's what I do. So I pointed this energy back into myself, and I'm going into this level of detail because I want you to understand that whatever it is that you are going through, there is a reason. It's not just so that you can scrape your knees, get up and say, wow, that's a lot of scars, and just move on. So what can you do? First, you always got to look for the growth within yourself. Your life is building blocks, are building blocks. Your life is building blocks. Your life is comprised of a bunch of building blocks. How about that? It's too early for me to think of grammar. But you have all of these blocks, and they build you into who you are today. And you have elevated your life if you choose to. You can either be the victim, look at these things that have happened to me, or look, my higher power believes that he won't give me anything that I can't handle, or she, whatever, right? I truly, honestly believe that my higher power will not give me more than I can handle. And I have always said that my higher power thinks that I'm a rock star because it was just like one on top of another on top of another. So you can either take, I am the victim, or I am the victor. And you have all of this proof for why you're the victor, because all of these things in your life have happened. Because what? They were a gift. You're not suffering like a victim. You were gifted because you're a victor. That's right. That's why your words matter. So you were given this life. You were given this story. You were given these things for a reason, not just to go through it. Now, what do you do with it? You've learned, okay? Now what? Can you help others? If we put ourselves into a place of servitude, and it doesn't become all about us, your world will change. And some of us are thinking, what do we want to do with our life? Well, why don't you look back and see what's happened to you? What are you passionate about? How can you take those lessons and translate those into something that's going to be of service to others? Now, maybe you don't want to do that for your career. Maybe it's through volunteering, or maybe it's you just open yourself up to people that want to talk, because there's so many people in this world that feel alone, but you've been there. Turn your pain into purpose, whatever that means for you. It was so painful to go through. And now I have found purpose. I have found meaning. I have found enlightenment through this. And I just want to help others, because we all know what it's like to feel lonely when we're going through something. It doesn't feel good. And it is our responsibility to be there for others. That's what mental health awareness is all about. It's breaking that shame. It's breaking that stigma, saying, hey, look, I have a problem, or hey, I've been there too. There's a reason we have these sayings and they stay alive. And, I truly believe that it takes a village. I believe that all ships rise with the tide. These are all true statements. Together, when we come together, we can do so much more than just an individual. It took me 10 years to get sober because I tried to do it by myself. And 3 years ago today, I said, okay, higher power, I give up. I can't do this. Take me and do with me what you will. And I held to that. And I started to tell people what I was going through. And had I done this before, maybe it wouldn't have taken me 10 years. I don't know. I don't know what my life would have taken, what twists would have happened, what changes. I don't know. Maybe it would have taken me longer. I don't know. But I do know that today I am here because somebody loved and cared enough to tell me those 7 words that changed my entire life. And that is, Jen, you need to learn to love yourself. And I believe in my program that we have it all inside of us. I believe in my core, and that has become my program, not just I believe in my program. I believe, Jen Sugermeyer believes that you have it inside of you. We all do. It's tapping in and understanding. What do we have inside of us? How do we use this powerful tool up here? When things happen, what do we engage? I'm working through that. It's love. Love can change the world. And you can. You can be a part of that. Be a part of the solution. Don't be a part of the problem. There are so many people that are consumers, people that are angry, people that have hate in their soul. Let's flip that around. Because if that can change my life, and I have a goal of changing over 1 million lives, can you imagine if we just exuded a little bit more love in this world, if we put out more empathy, we put out more coming from a place of servitude, we put out a little more care and compassion, and the change that we could have on an entire world? Look, we may not be able to change the entire world, just one person, but we can all impact one person's life. So if you make it a goal today to spend a little more time in love and in gratitude and in empathy, sympathy, careness, compassion, and see how people respond to that versus anger and hatred. And how can you tap into these gifts that you've been given? All these gifts that we talked about yesterday, how can you tap into these things and use them? Because they built you for a reason. What was that reason? They strengthened you for something. So use that. You've been given a gift and it's beautiful. So I'm on a high today, a life high. And that's where we want to be. It's just high on life. Because I was given a gift. I was not only given a second chance, but I was given that gift of addiction. It is my superpower. And I grow every single day. I win every single day. And why? Because I choose to. That's how I choose to look at things. And so, whatever you're going through from a mental health perspective, there's a reason. You're growing, you are learning. And make that choice, make that decision for yourself that you're going to use that for your good. Care about yourself enough to get well and then to use that. I didn't care about myself. And I know sometimes it may be that you need to go seek medical help. It may be that you need to engage people. Do whatever it takes to get you to where you want to be. We all deserve happiness. Every single one of us. Every single one of us deserves love and happiness and peace. That's your right as a human being. So with that, I'm going to go jump on a plane because let's see, it is 4:22 in the morning and my flight is at 6 a.m. I will be back in Dallas and I am doing a photo shoot. I think it's still on the calendar. And I'm doing that today because I have that self-love. And to me, that is something that I enjoy. And so I have a couple photographers that I'm going to work with. And I'm going to go face the world. I'm going to go help it. I want to be part of the solution. And that's what I'm going to go do because we are intentional. Today, I want you to tell yourself that you are worth it. I want you to tell yourself that what you do matters. And you, my friend, matter as well. All right. I will see you here tomorrow. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and go out and check out higherinheels.com. The magazine is out there, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. All right. Have a great day. Cheers.